Well, hey everybody, this is going to be a bit of a different kind of video for me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the last couple of weeks during which I traveled across the country. I played shows all over the place, went through Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and drove back through Iowa, Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois, all the way back to Nashville, which is where I'm currently living. And it was quite an adventure. And so in this video, I'm just going to reflect a little on what it was like to be out on the road, driving around for around 7,000 miles over a few weeks, and what I enjoy about being at home, working in the studio, versus what I enjoy about being on the road. Because I've been doing this music thing now since I was a young lad. I think any musicians out there who are interested in having a career in music might be interested in this video, and anyone out there who's a fan of my music might be interested as to what goes on behind the scenes and the kind of routine that a performer may have. When you go and see them at a concert, you'll know what they might have been through that day. So the tour was a big adventure. It was just myself, my wife Genevieve.
We're going on tour.
And her rabbit. I should say our rabbit, although that rabbit is definitely a man of his own. And we traveled, like I said, over 7,000 miles, which is almost the distance from Los Angeles to Sydney if you were to drive across the ocean. And it was certainly an extraordinary amount of miles. It was a nice adventure, and it was great to play for real life audiences. I really enjoy live streams though, but it's nice to be on a real stage, hearing my guitar in a big hall. I really missed that over the last couple of years of not playing out very much. But I was reminded of just how much time and energy it takes to travel and play shows. Basically, the day would look something like you'd wake up at 7 a.m. and have a little breakfast, take a shower, get packed up, be in the car by about 9 a.m. and we were driving around in a rented Chevy Tahoe, like a big SUV kind of thing. And it was very expensive gas at the moment too. We'd leave at about 9 a.m. the hotel, and then the drives were between 4 to 6 hours every day. And some days we had a day off, but there were quite a few show days where I would drive 6 hours. And that's challenging because you can't really just stop and take your time. You have to be there by load-in time, and you have a kind of strict schedule. So it's definitely challenging to be on time for everything. But I'm quite a punctual person. So we'd load in at 4 p.m., carrying all my amps, my guitars, pedals, all that stuff. And then at 4:30 we do a sound check, and I do a pretty quick sound check. It's pretty simple really. It takes about half an hour, and then we'll eat dinner at 5 p.m. and at 7 p.m. the show will start. So after dinner I'll be putting on a fresh shirt, warming up, maybe changing my strings, practicing, and then play the show, meet people, sell some merch, and then go back to the hotel, which is usually in the town you play, but not always. Sometimes you need to drive a little bit after the show if you want to save yourself a little bit of driving the next day. But usually we get to bed at around 11 p.m. or midnight, wake up at 7 a.m. the next day to do it all again. So that's a great adventure, and it was wonderful seeing different parts of the country, some areas that I had not been through before, like Moab in Utah. But there's really no time to be creative. There's no time to practice other than the bare minimum of just warming up before you walk onto a stage. And there's really not a lot of time to keep up with comments, to film videos, to keep on this social media train that I've built up over the last couple of years. I've built up a big audience, which has been incredible. But during this tour, I realized that you can't really keep both things going. At least it's definitely not easy to. So it was an interesting thing for me, reflecting on the last couple of years during which I've been quite prolific, creating a lot of new arrangements, a lot of new videos, writing a lot of new songs, creating albums, and just working really hard from my own studio, and I have way more time in the day when I have a clean calendar, an empty calendar, and I feel really blessed that I have ways to make a living being home in the studio. But being out on the road, it is a whole different ball game. So I think, as a musician, if you're a musician who's just starting to play live, I think playing live on stage is crucial to developing your craft, your performance skills, your stage craft. As a musician, you really need that experience of playing live, I believe. That being said, I've seen a lot of people fall into bad lifestyles being on the road all the time. Some people drink, some people smoke, some people get into the partying, and I've never really been interested in any of that. Some people just thrive on it. I think about Tommy Emmanuel, and he's always just living for that moment where he gets to be on stage and fly his kite and be so great. And I think about Kenny Rogers as well. He toured right up until he physically couldn't tour anymore, and I got the chance to do some shows with him and travel with him and travel on the bus with his band and with his crew, and just a great bunch of people. So going forward for me, it's going to be about finding the balance of being home as much as I can to create new arrangements, new albums, new music that I hope will stand the test of time, and that I can be really proud of the creative achievement of the said music, but also being on stage enough to travel and experience that and give audiences the music. I think people need music. They need to hear it live. It's just a wonderful thing. There's nothing quite like it. However, it's a different world than it was 2 years ago. It just is. It's just different out there. Audiences are different. Venues are different. Traveling is different. Personally, I'm taking a little bit of a step back from touring as much as I once did. And I'm also moving from Nashville. This is a big step for me. I've been in Nashville for 12 years, and I'll announce soon where I'm going. But I will say that it has a much lower population density. It's spectacularly beautiful. And I think it's going to be a really great space for me creatively. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can look forward to more studio recordings from me coming up in the coming weeks. More lessons, more songs, more arrangements, all of the above. So thanks very much for subscribing to my channel. If you aren't subscribed, do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell if you'd like to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks very much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Cheers.